Hey, good morning, you 62,000 approaching 63,000 beautiful souls out there. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Please hit the like button at the end of the video if you did like it, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want some more viral content like I produce. Man, I woke up this morning feeling good. I'm looking out here. I had a great night's sleep. How about that Super Bowl, huh? 3 games. Oh my gosh, what a game. I knew Kansas City would win. I like that young quarterback guy. I really do. I liked him last year. And I was totally for Kansas City. I really was. Prior to the Super Bowl. I said yesterday I didn't even know who was playing, but I did remember that a couple of days ago I was told that they're back in it. But I had a mind slip. Anyway, I like that kid. When they interviewed him last night, next to the female newscaster that was interviewing, either she's very, very short or he's very, very tall. You really can't tell about those players on the field and in the video. But of course, they're huge human beings to be able to get out there and crush it. So I've been reading a lot of comments this morning. I got a lot of stuff to say about your comments, so I can try to answer them. Let me try to do this here. So I can try to answer them in the video rather than the comment. I've been really pretty good about writing answers to comments. Let me get this down. Here we go. Make my coffee. Pour some water in. One person said they don't like my Keurig. I'm trying to figure out, is it the coffee? You don't like coffee, or you don't like a Keurig, or what is it? But all coffee makers are pretty much automatic drip, except the percolators. I used to have one of those. They're really nice to have. I had a Cuisinart I bought at Walmart. What a shocker, right? And it was a nice little percolator. I love the smell of it. But that's one of my last K-Cups. I have a reusable K-Pod, and I have the best coffee in the world with my coffee. Everything slid around, I guess, last time I drove. Don't believe how good this smells. Sent from Miss Deb, the barber, the retired barber. I got coffee. I got good coffee. But what was I going to say? So I'm reading your comments, and the RV show. Yeah, that was something yesterday. I didn't even video any of those $1 million Class A's. Those are really nice, and I'd like to go into a Prevost. That's the dual axle true bus that they are over $1 million. All of them, I think, up to $2 or $3 million. It's crazy. But congratulations to a subscriber that bought one of those Rovers. I went in yesterday. It was the very first thing that I was attracted to that looked like that trailer in the movie with Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz that they pulled. It's got that shape. It's not the old style. I think that might even have been an Airstream they had. I don't know why that brings me back to that shape. It's just some classic looking trailer. And that's what I like about the Flagstaff is the body style. It has that nice bubbled nose in the front with the car windshield. And anyway, we got into a little bit of a comparison in the comments regarding how a lot of these are made. And I will be the first to agree. First of all, we all know this is not a custom-made home. It's not bricks and mortar. It's not going to withstand a hurricane. Nothing's going to withstand a tornado. But they are what they are. They have to be made of lightweight in every aspect of the build so you can tow the darn thing down the road, right? It's got to be able to be towed. And even if you buy a 1-ton truck, you can't buy a semi-truck. Everybody can't buy a semi-truck to tow these trailers. So they are built with lightweight materials. But they use aluminum and reinforcing and tongue and groove and real wood and real sliders and different kinds of hardware and different things where some manufacturers take a lot of shortcuts and do use staples and, I mean, yesterday I walked in some of those campers that, what is it? What's the name of that other RV place? Capital, that was there? Continental? What was the name of it? Big RV dealer. There's several of them around the country. They deal in all brands. But what they had at the show yesterday on towables that I walked into, I mean, seriously, that door was hollow. The hardware was one screw in it on the doorknob. It felt, I mean, you could walk right through it. It was, I hate to be disparaging, but it was junk. I would never in my life, I don't care what deal they gave me, I would not buy a lot of those trailers that I walked into. I'm sure they would end up having soft spots, roofs leaking, all the things that we hear about that happen. And that's the problem. It's kind of like with religion, you know, you hear about some charlatans and people that stole money and people that cheated on their wives and, you know, they weren't really men of God. And it gives the whole thing a bad reputation. But, you know, there are good men of God. There are good campers. Now, I won't go as far as saying that the new camp and the Airstream and the Rover and the ones that I saw yesterday that are no doubt a quality that's way superior to those junks that I just referred to. But when they want to pitch you on the fact of that quality being worth, I mean, let's take the Airstream, for example. Now, I know I'm going to hear it. Oh, you're speaking out of ignorance, Baker, because you just don't know. That aluminum, that whole aluminum thing cost $1 million. Well, they've built a reputation. And, you know, people go to a jewelry store and they'll buy a Rolex watch for $50,000. They'll buy a diamond ring for $100,000. It's worth what you'll pay for it. And there's a but for every seat. So, you know, more power to you. But if it gets any better than this right here, folks, I don't want anything to do with it. I had one guy in the comments, guy or gal, said, you know, the usernames, I can't tell your gender sometimes. Yeah, we know, Baker, yours is the best. Well, you know, I don't decide on just anything. I think things through. I mean, I don't just buy it because they financed me and I got it. I paid my money for this. And I've looked at 1 million of these things over the years. And I've had that same opinion that I just expressed a moment ago, that I wouldn't have one. I mean, they are junk. And they all looked kind of the same. They had that aluminum siding like my Wolf Pup had. But the Wolf Pup was unique in the respect that it had this unique little, I don't know what it was. Either that or God said, you need to buy this because you're going to live in it for 1.5 years after you moved back to West Palm and you went through the pandemic and you know, are doing what you're going to do. And we're going to put you over there at that property in Boynton. Hey, come on down here. And and you're going to get your money's worth out of it because you're not going to be paying $2,000 a month for an apartment. So the 11 grand I gave for that, the over $1,000 every single month for 1.5 years that I didn't pay rent somewhere, I paid myself back for that camper. So in the end, I more than got all my money back, plus about 5 grand by living in that little thing, and had a great time doing it. Made some good videos, some cooking videos, had a good little spot there, everything. So you guys have all seen the videos, you know. So when I went and bought this, which was $40,000, no other dealer fees, and I guarantee you all them dealers have got half a dozen fees they try to tack on top after they give you their good price. It's just what they do. And it's nothing but pure profit. It's how they work today. It's the same way with the car dealers. You go in, it's called document fees, prep fee. They got some other names and language they used, but it's nothing but profit. When I went to Camp Oaks in Georgia, they told me straight up. First of all, they put the prices on every door, and it wasn't even a show. Normally, you have to go to a show for RV dealers to even show a price. And those prices yesterday were still extremely high because they were to allow for a trade-in, in case you had a trade-in. So they're not going to put their very, very best price right on the paper. But when you go into the dealer when it's not a show, they don't even put them out. And there's no window sticker like cars. There's nothing to guide you. It's just like whatever they say. And then they've always got these 20, 40, 50, $70,000 discounts I saw yesterday on some. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So, where do you begin? Well, what you can do is you can just go like I did. Let me show you. Is a home worth 10 grand? Of course. Is it worth 20 grand? Absolutely. Is a home worth 30 grand? Remember in the day you could buy a real home for 30 grand? I'm talking about RVs now. Well, now we're getting up here a little bit. Now we're definitely getting into a price where one of these can be had, especially when you don't drive it and it doesn't have a motor in it. It's just the house. And you could buy a mobile home. Well, you used to pre-pandemic in mobile home parks for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. A big full-on double wide or a single wide, huge, untowable mobile home. All right, so 30 grand. Now we're getting into the numbers. Now, when this listed for 40, and it was the prettiest thing I've ever seen with the Asdel walls and aluminum build and the walk-on roof and the solar and the dual batteries and the dual tanks, the 30-pounders and the this and the that and the tongue and groove flooring and the heated belly and all the things that they actually are employing in 2024 and even in 2023 that they didn't employ during the pandemic and pre-pandemic when they were just basically screws and staples. They're trying to make something a little more quality, and they raised the prices on them, remember? So I guess they're trying to give you a little bit more for your money. Anyway, let's get back. Hang on. This one was 40 grand. 40 even. 39,995 is actually what it was. And the paper was right on the table when I went to the place Camp Oaks in Dahlonega, Georgia. They're very nice people up there. And it said right on the paper, we don't charge anything extra. That's your price plus tax and a license plate. And that's it. That's it. They ask all their profit and what they want right up front. It's not, this is the price, and you go inside, all right, now we got this and we got that. That makes you feel bad. So, it was 40 grand. And I said, well, I got a trade-in. I got a Wolf Pup. It's also a Forest River. Coincidentally, these are made by Forest River. So, although he would take anything in trade-in, it's their product. And the Wolf Pup, believe it or not, it's kind of like the 4Runner and a lot of other things that there's forums on Facebook where people, they have them. It's kind of a groupie thing. The Wolf Pup is a very popular little, the 16FQ, the one I had with the front queen with the rear bath. I mean, it was a very popular little small trailer, 16-footer, 21 on the outside, 4,000 pounds. And it just had a kind of a nice cabinetry, and it looked good, and it had good space in it compared to some of the other small ones. Now, when you talk about the New Camp and the Rover and the Airstream and those small units that they want $50,000 for, I'm not comparing it to that. I'm talking about your regular small trailer. The Forest River Wolf Pup was a very unique little, I liked it. So anyway, I went in there. This was 40 grand, no other fees. I told him about my Wolf Pup, and he gave me $10,000 for it. Now, he did not give me $10,000. When you go take your trade-in to a car dealer today, and you got a title, you don't know anything on it, and it's a, 7-year-old car, time to trade it in, and, cars are depreciating assets. They go down in value, and the guy tells you he's going to give you a retail price, a full good price, a price like, wow, that's pretty good compared to what I paid for it. You know, that's only because you're buying his car. If you were to say, wow, that's a good price for mine. Hey, you know what? Never mind buying yours. Just write me a check for that. I'll just take that and do something else. They'll say, oh, no, we're not doing that. We'll only give you that if you pay this price for this. So it turns out to be, the smart buyer knows it's the cash difference. It's whatever you pay out of your pocket plus what you think your vehicle or your camper is worth. So I gave 30, and my camper, that, remember, was free. I didn't owe it anything. I got all my money back. It was like I got a free camper to give them, to give me 10 off of this, because while I did buy that camper, I got all my money back by living in it for 1.5 years. So thank you very much. Here's my camper that I don't owe anything on or owe anything to it. I got all my money back that I paid for it. I don't care what you're actually giving me for it against that $40,000. All I know is I'm giving you 30 grand for this camper and that camper. And so I basically, in my mind, only gave 30 grand, which is $12,000 to $15,000 less than any other 25 FKBS I have found to date. I am way under. Now, I didn't buy it that cheap. They didn't sell it that cheap because they actually did give me something for that wolf pup. What did they give you, Baker? Well, it wasn't 10 grand. It wasn't. I figured, wholesale wise, he probably gave me, because at the 40 grand he was selling this for, and the market was getting ready to turn to a buyer's market, and the winter was coming, and he's in North Georgia. It's going to be very cold, and the season's going to be over. He had plenty of profit left that he could share and discount and add it to on paper to what he's really secretly paying me in his mind for my camper. I figured he probably gave me initially $5,000 or $6,000 for that wolf pup. So I actually paid 30, and he gave me 5 hard money. So I gave 35 for this. And then, he showed me 10 on paper, but he's probably only got about 5,000 or 6,000. 7 would be a lot. And I don't believe that, because you could buy that camper between 7,000 and 9,000 all day long around the country. It was a 2016, and that's what they're selling for. And even though they're a cool little unit and you might be able to get the high price from somebody, there's plenty of people out there selling them for a lower price that's just as good. Just as good. And that little camper didn't need anything. Everything worked on it. It was fine. I just put brand new Goodyear Endurance tires on it. Remember that? And a new battery the day before I gave it to him. The Dometic air conditioner will run you out of there. I put a bigger screen TV in it. And I never used the stove. It was never cooked on. But, so I gave, $35,000 without splitting hairs for this camper. Now, back to what we were talking about. Me. 35 grand for all the campers in the world I saw yesterday. And I'm going to go to another RV show in West Palm Thursday. If I had $35,000 or you had $35,000 in your hand, I said, go buy a brand new towable. And let me see how much more you can find in features, quality, and style than I got right here. You'd be hard pressed to find it, in my opinion. Now, it's never been more of a buyer's market than it is today. The interest rates are high. People don't have the disposable cash. The discretionary spending is down. People's credit is down. They're strung out. They got debt. We're getting ready to, this is speculation. Let me get my crystal ball and I'll tell you. Here it is. Oh yeah, there's a crash coming. There's a correction in the market coming. Houses are going to drop. That's what everybody keeps talking about. Well, it may not ever, but it will eventually. There is going to be this, like there always has been in our economy, and where we're at now is definitely a peak. And we've been riding a crest of success for a few years, and everybody got moneyed up. They turned on the printing machines. Everybody got money. They went out and spent, and they raised the prices of rents and houses, and and the money they got, it isn't being replaced. They're not just continually giving them this money. Nobody's wages went up, so it's not sustainable. There's going to have to be a lower rate, a lower price, a discount, just like these RVs and car dealers. They're not getting $5,000 over sticker price anymore, for the most part. So things are on the turn. And, I was even reading in comments this morning about Social Security running out of money and only wanting to pay you 80% of what you're getting now in 10 years, which is tomorrow. When you're old like us that are watching me, I'm 65, 10 years is tomorrow. So, if that happens, again, speculation, who knows? But the last thing that I would do is have payments, is buy a house. Now, I would buy a house. I'm going to reverse that. I would buy a house, a villa, a condo, something, if the total cost with the HOA, the insurance, the maintenance, everything that goes in to owning real estate, I would own it if it was, let's say, $1,000 a month, $1,200 a month. That would be the highest that I would find a way to pay for and have a place that I could die at, somewhere I could live the rest of my life. I would care less if it went up to $1 million or it dropped to zero and it was worth nothing, because I'm not looking to resell it. I'm not looking to profit from it. I'm not looking for anything. If it would cost me today, with everything what it costs today, with the finances, $1,000 to $1,200 a month, including everything, possibly even the electric bill, because when you start adding, when you get up to $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 every month, and if you own it, that's for the rest of your life. I'm out. I've been a roommate for 2 decades where I paid $500 a month, and I lived in one of those gorgeous homes without having to foot the bill to pay for it. Someone else was having financial problem and needed financial assistance, so they allowed someone to come in, and I was a great find because I'm quiet, considerate, I pay early, I don't bring anybody over, I don't use the kitchen, and I stay forever, as long as possible. The ideal tenant. I have a new car, I close doors quietly, I walk softly, I don't come and go, I'm not a nuisance, I don't want to be a nuisance. I give what I would expect somebody else. And so instead of me buying a home and looking for a roommate and renting out a room and trying to find the person like me, I just bring to the table what I am. And I tell them that. And they get it. And everyone has enjoyed having me. So I've lived in Atlanta in some beautiful 2-story homes and subdivisions. I mean, where I drove up at night when I came back from my job in this gorgeous brick 2-story What happened was hard times came and the owner had to sell, got foreclosed on. One guy, finally one time I wanted to move to Florida, back to Florida after a long time. And I came down. Then I got a cottage that was really bitching behind the house of a lady that after She was from Colorado, and after about 3 years there, I was there 6. She started getting the idea of wanting to sell it and make a big profit. And I lived on pins and needles every day. There was a realtor coming around about every other week or twice a week wanting to show it. And I'm thinking, are they going to want to still rent it to me out here? Are they going to want somebody in this mother-in-law suite? It was a little cottage on the back. And hang on. And probably if somebody came in and bought it, would have thought, we don't want you here. We're going to get our own person, or we're going to use it or do something with it. So we're all passing through in this world. And whatever one good deal is, you know, you just have to find another one. But that was a sweet little spot I had right next to SRQ, the Sarasota International Airport. Flights went right over our house. I kind of liked it. And the 7:06 every morning at 7:03 to 7:06 a.m., they fired up them engines. There was a big wall right there on Tamiami Trail where the jet would turn around. You'd hear them rev it up, and down the free what's it called? The runway. It would go blasting, and some of them would be those big ones, you know, with 4 engines on them, and it'd really roar. I'd come shaking out of my bed, but that's all right. I was an early bird anyway. And I love that little cottage. I had it set up. It was so masculine. I had black furniture, black sheets, black bedspread. I had a sound system. I could crank my music. No one could hear. I wasn't disturbing anybody. I had a big screen TV, and I drove a new car, and I golfed every day of the world. I was single. I was out selling my coupons that I did for 33 years. I had the world by the tail. I had some good friends, the same golf whores that played golf every day like I did. We would go around, and then the place didn't care if we just started back on tee box number 1 and played again, and no charge. We all knew each other there. It was like an old country club, like an old cow pasture. It wasn't a real fancy schmancy, but we had a blast. I had a great life going. And what was I doing? Renting, squatting in a cottage. Prior to that, I was a roommate, at the mercy of them getting, you know, foreclosed on or wanting to move or whatever. I just found something else. But I found this camper. I said all that to say this. I found this camper after leaving in October, going on that trip. And I took my wolf pup with me. And I had planned on just camping, making video for you guys, talking about doing what I want to do with this now, and traveling out west when it gets warm. And I pray to God I can. And we go to Georgia. We start in North Carolina. We visit some family and friends, and we get invitations to stay in chalets and log cabins, and we go to apple festivals, and we ended up not doing much camping at all in the Wolf Pup, except in my daughter's driveway, in between chalets and log cabins. It was really bitching. That's a month I'll never forget. A whole month vacation that was affordable because we stayed in places that would run you, you know, hundreds of dollars a day. And we stayed in 3 houses, a lake house and 2 log cabins, for a whole week each, a full 7 days. And then we stayed in the Wolf Pup for about 7 or 8 days. A little longer, because when I bought this, I had to wait for them to deliver it because the one on the lot was sold. But anyway, back to this. 40 grand. They gave me 10. I owed 30. At first, I went to the lot to make some videos, and when I saw the outside, this goes back to what I said 20 minutes ago, the look of it, I knew was different from anything I've ever seen. The Azdel fiberglass outside finish and that front cap, that automotive windshield, it just had style, like, and the pop outs, the slide outs were 4-foot slides. There's 2 of them. I could just tell this thing, for a small 25-footer under 30 feet, the sweet spot, so you don't need a pull-through spot, was something else. I had no idea what it looked like inside. None. Oh, I was captivated by the outside. And they were closed. And I was to return with my Wolf Pup to Boynton Beach. And then I just said, I need to go video before we go back. I just want to video them. I need to see the inside of those. I've never seen towables that look so nice. So I go back, and what was really impressive about Camp Oaks is when they were open, when I went back, they have every single unit wide open, slide outs out, electricity available on them, and a price on the window. And nobody bothers you. They just say, go ahead. Every unit wasn't open and the slide out's not out. Everything was open. The slide outs were out, everything. A full tour. Take your time. So you saw the content I made. I went and I videoed them, and I started saying, oh, wow, I need this, and I need closet space, and I like this, and here's the front bed, and here's a rear bed, and here's a Murphy bed. Oh, this is nice. This has got a whole separate bedroom. Oh, man. And I started figuring it out. And God had a plan. God had a plan for Tim. And so I stayed. I went back. I videoed. As soon as I stepped inside, saw the colors, saw the, everything about it. And I saw that I had duct AC. I didn't have to just listen to an air conditioner like I did for a year and a half run continually. Even though the compressor on the Wolf Pup would shut down, the fan would still have to blast because it wasn't duct AC. This is like a residential air conditioning. You have no idea how important and impressed I was with that. And when everything shuts off when it gets to the temperature it's supposed to be. And duct furnace. And 2 TVs and the rest of it. You've seen the tour. And so I made a decision. This is the one I really like. This is it. And all the closet space, which is what I was naked for with the Wolf Pup. I was using the garage in Boynton Beach using plastic totes to keep things in that I couldn't even get inside the camper. This fit the ticket. This was going to allow me to have everything I own as a minimalist. Do I use you? No. Gone. Gone or sold if it had any value. I have only what it takes to live. My clothes on my back, my vehicle, this camper, and a few totes with some things that are like useful tools to do what I got to do with this thing. That's it. And now I've accumulated a generator, which I haven't even used yet. But I returned it once. I'm not going to return it again because there's going to be a time when I'm in a rest area towing this thing, and when it does warm up, it's going to really warm up. And I'm going to be somewhere, I'm like, oh, sure wish I had that generator. I'd like to run that air conditioner right now. It's hot in here. I'm going to be back here making myself a bologna sandwich, and I'm going to have to stand outside to eat it because it's going to be so hot until I find somewhere to park it and can plug in to shore power. No, no, no. I got my own shore power. I got it going on, folks. And I am a blessed man. I'm very excited. Please forgive me if it sounds like I'm boasting. But for $30,000 and my camper, and homes are $450,000 on average in America today, and you have to have a lot of income to qualify, and 60% of your income would have to be used to pay for it based on the average income that the average American has. No thanks. This is a brand new home, fully furnished, with a warranty, turnkey, everything. I don't even need grease in my axles. Everything is ready to tow. New tires, Goodyear Endurance too. And then I traded the truck and I got this fabulous V8 Lexus motor in this Tundra. And for the first time in my life that I've been able to move from being a squatter, a renter, a roommater, a cottage renter, to having the ability to buy. But wouldn't you know it, as luck would have it, when the credit was there, when the little bit of money was there for a down payment and the qualifications and a job, here comes a pandemic, puts me out of my business, and puts the prices of everything, because of the short supply, starting to rise, and then they took off exponentially to the moon. And now houses are 40% overvalued. They really are, in my opinion. Cars took off. I said, well, what am I going to do? And this is where God put me. That's why I tell you that don't worry about collecting your Social Security at 62 and it's only going to be this much money. And, you know, people talking about a side hustle that you got to work when you're in your 60s or 70s. Hey, you should be so lucky than to sit in a chair where you can't get up. I mean, people have an interesting perspective of how they look at things, and we won't go there. It's just like this morning, I was looking in the comments, and I don't know how these people got out of prison, but I put them back in there because there were some very nasty people that just, in the community, attacked. Yeah, but there's no reason that you have to do that, even though I appreciate it. I just put them back in prison. People like that got no reason to talk to you, to talk to me. If they want to be unhappy in their life and they don't like things and they don't like other people having nice things or enjoying some success in life, for no reason, it's the biggest mind boggler in the world to me why someone would. I digress. Anyway, this is a great deal. I challenge anyone to go out with $30,000, $35,000 in your hand, cash money, and buy a brand new camper today and come home with something as nice as this. Now, like the new camp I was looking at yesterday, I was all about one of those. And I didn't care that you could reach from the front to the back of it almost while you're sitting in the middle. That's how big they are. They're small. It's a teardrop. But they're super high quality. You can pull it with a Subaru car. They're just cute looking. They're self-contained with a shower and sink and water and a bed and stove and, you know, everything. They don't leak. They have good resale value. But they're 40 grand. And now, after living in this, which is really like a home, and I come in here at night and I want to move around and I got all this extra headroom. My ceiling is high. I've lost all that for the tiny trailer. I know there's a huge market for it. They want to tow them off grid. They want to get out in the woods with them. They can go through narrow roads, and this cannot even follow you. You can run off and hide from me with one of those, but I don't want to go there. I'll stick to pavement or a dirt road that's hard that I'm not going to get stuck in. But mainly, I would prefer to be, you know, where there is facilities, electrical, water, and stuff like that, and pay. You know, I don't want to live where I got to go fetch water all the time, find a place to dump my sewer occasionally, you know, have to run the generator all the time. That's a convenience in between, but not for regular living. No, I have certain standards for me that I want to be like in a home with other people, you know, that's safe, and, you know, you pay rent, but not what they charge for an apartment. Not even close. Not even half. That's me. But I'm more, I know this is a boastful video. I'm sorry. But I am more happy this morning after going to that show yesterday, seeing what I saw and what some people are contemplating purchasing. And God bless them. They're going to be happy with it, hopefully. I'm sure a lot of them may not. You know, you hear the stories. They buy it, they regret it, they can't afford it, it breaks, it biodegrades, they can't get service. All the horror stories. And I'm sure a lot of them are true. But I have no regrets. This one I've towed a few times now. It's not made of staples. It's not falling apart when I go down the road with it. I drive 60 to 65 miles an hour maximum. I got Dexter axles. When I come off of an exit and go around the ramp off the freeway, this thing digs in and handles like a sports car. That's what these axles do. They're the same axles that are on an Airstream. No leaf springs. And the tongue and groove and the real wood and the hinges in the drawers and the cabinets, it's not some stapled and press board thing. And I'm just very careful about taking care of it. And if you do that with probably anything, it'll last you. But I could not be happier living in an RV as a retired man by myself with the world available that's getting ready to come through my windshield as I follow the front end and meet new people and see new things until the day comes where I'm slowing down and I just don't want to do that anymore. But right now, and all my life, that's all I've ever done is go, go, go. Back and forth across this country. Whether it be a car, a motorcycle, and now hopefully with a travel trailer, if that be God's will. So folks, I'm glad you watched my channel. I really do apologize again. I know I got kind of hyped up there and went on and on. I'm just being honest and telling you how I feel this morning about the satisfaction I have of having this Flagstaff 25 FKBS. It is the bomb. I recommend anybody look at a Flagstaff. The values are there. It's not the lowest price one, and it's by far not the highest price one. But I think that for your money and the looks and what you get, if you fit into my mold and your needs or something like that, you're not just looking for a small teardrop type thing. And hey, you know, the same can be said about the Social Security, but I disagree. That people say, hey, you know, it's not for everybody. One size doesn't fit all. Get your money. Well, look, if there's not going to be any money, or 80% of it's only going to be paid, or you could die, or, why in the world would you not even just take it and invest it? Why in the world would you just let, you know, to wait for $500 or $600 more dollars a half a decade from now when you're completely a different person? I mean, just think about a 12-year-old and a 17-year-old. And now you get this little bit more money, a few $100 more, and you have allowed over $100,000 worth of checks that no one's going to collect. If you died or anything, nobody gets anything. You just beat. Never, never. Get your money, get you a camper, live your life, be happy, make people smile, love God, repent, be kind, and crush it.